What up, everybody? Power Book Origins will be the come up story of a young James and Tommy starting out as corner boys in Southside Jamaica, Queens, to becoming the biggest drug dealers in New York City. And I believe that Origins will be the sequel to Raising Kanan. But in this story, we won't just be learning the backstory of James and Tommy, but we could see other characters along the way, learning about how they were connected to Ghost and Tommy, and revealing the answers to a lot of questions regarding the Power Universe. Since the main focus will be on Ghost and Tommy, we'll also be learning about the people who were closest to them as kids also, like Tommy's mother's Kate, Ghost uncle's Gabe, and we'll finally find out exactly who is Ghost's father and what happened to his mother. And two other characters who had a significant impact in the lives of James and Tommy, and that's Kanan and Breeze. We don't know how many Raising Kanan characters will continue into Origins, but we do know that at least Kanan and Jukebox will continue. And if unique as Breeze, like I've been saying, he'll continue into Origins also. The fate of other characters is still up in the air though. We'll also be introduced to two of Ghost's main love interests and exactly how they met, and that's Angela and Tasha. Ghost and Angela's relationship lasted somewhere between 1993 to 1996 when Angela went to Cho. Then Ghost was single for about 6 years until he met Tasha around 2002 and got her pregnant soon after that with the twins, Tariq and Raina. I know there was a lot of talk about one of the girls from Juke's singing group maybe being Tasha in Raising Kanan Season 3, but Aisha or Crystal or none of the other girls who auditioned is Tasha because she's only around 8 years old on the current timeline. One story that will be interesting to see how it goes down on Origins though will be the story of Ghost getting pulled over with a gun and Tasha hiding it for him. This was a significant moment between Ghost and Tasha because he asked her to marry him after this. The thing about this story is we've heard two different versions of this story. One that Lakeisha told Tasha and Tasha's friends, and also the story that Tasha told the jury in her mock trial. But there's also a chance that this was actually Ghost testing Tasha to see if he could trust her, like Kanan did to Tariq with Jukebox and Ray Ray. But one of the biggest secrets that will be revealed on Power Origins is the question, who killed Ghost's father? Many people believe that it was either Kanan or Breeze who killed Ghost's father, but I personally don't believe that theory, and I feel like it's more likely that Ghost killed his own father than Breeze or Kanan did. Because if it was Kanan or Breeze who killed Ghost's father, he wouldn't have still been cool with them. He would have been looking for a chance to take them out. And yes, Ghost ultimately did kill Breeze, but he told Tariq it was because Breeze was standing in the way of his future, and he gave Breeze one last chance. If Breeze or Kanan killed his father, he would have been justified to kill either of them, and he would have just told Tariq, I killed Breeze and sent Kanan to prison because they killed your grandfather. There's also the story that Kate told about James, how Tommy used to get beat up every day after school until one day James handled two boys who were picking on Tommy, and nobody ever picked on him again after that. Personally, I feel like this scene will be the perfect introduction for James and Tommy, either on Raising Kanan or Origins, as well as when James and Angela first hooked up when James gave a kid his lunch money to sit next to Angela on the bus, and then they later got caught kissing under the steps. And a couple characters who I haven't mentioned yet that will also be introduced on Origins is Angela's father and her sister Paws. Angela's father used to hate Jamie, calling him a punk and a drug dealer, and we know that Paws has been asking to borrow money since they were just kids. Concerning Tasha, we'll also likely meet a young Estelle and find out exactly what is the backstory between her and Tasha's father, who is said to have left Estelle and started a new family. I believe Tasha's father was a drug dealer like Ghost because Estelle once told Tasha she had one just like Ghost. Getting me to a few characters from OG Power who Ghost was working with in Season 1. First being a character who was never seen on screen because he was killed by Miguel Alvarez somewhere around the beginning of Episode 1, and that is a character named Cruz. Cruz was one of the highest ranking members in Ghost organization, It was said to be Ghost's money guy who handled the finances for Ghost and Tommy. So that is definitely somebody who Ghost really trusted. The first seasons of Power, there was also another character who was close with Ghost and Tommy that we don't know what exactly happened to him, and this is a character named Victor. Victor was on the same level in Ghost's organization as Julio. In Origins, we'll be introduced to Julio also, being a member of the Toros Locos, and we'll see what made Ghost decide that Julio was somebody he felt he needed by his freedom to get him out of the gang. Getting me to Ghost distros at the beginning of Power, Ruiz, Rolla, and Annabelle. Annabelle only lasted a few episodes before getting knocked off by Pink Sneakers. Annabelle was the leader of the Tyanos gang before Cristobal. Rolla was somebody who was pretty much raised by Ghost. There's been a lot of talk that Rolla could have possibly already been introduced on Raising Kanan as Romero, the son of a small-time weed dealer named Simrad. Ruiz was the founder of the Soldado Nation, a gang that competed for territory in Queens with the RSKs, the gang led by Rolla. I believe that Ruiz was mentioned in the flashback scene in Ghost Season 4 with young Monet and Lorenzo. Monet said she got the bricks from a dealer named Carlos, because Carlos is the first name of Ruiz. This also lines up because we know that the Tejadas lived in Queens. So we could definitely see a young Lorenzo at some point in Raising Kanan, as well as Monet, to finally see if Kane is actually Lorenzo's real son, or did Monet know Kanan, and Kanan is actually Kane's real father. But another character to keep in mind is Mecca. Mecca mentions Ghost and Tommy to Tariq in Season 2 of Book 2. Though he never said if he knew them or not, he said he knew about them. But there's still a good chance that he did know them though, and we could see the backstory of how Mecca got arrested and sent to the military in Origins. Getting me to RSJ. RSJ mentioned James a few times to Tariq, but one key is the fact that RSJ was trying to purchase the same location as the QCP and wanted to turn it into a mall. We also know that RSJ's father was killed when he was just a boy. RSJ said that his father didn't leave them anything but good examples. So we'll find out what happened to RSJ's father and how he knew Ghost in Origins. In Season 4, Power Book 2, Ghost, we were also introduced to a couple other characters who have potential connections to James St. Patrick, and that's Detective Don Carter and Zion. When Tariq first met Zion, Zion brought up Ghost and Tommy and said that Tommy was crazy, and Ghost knew how to solve a problem before it became a problem. Zion was said to only have taken the meeting with Tariq based upon his last name. So out of all the characters from Book 2, Zion was the character to seemingly guarantee knew Ghost. As for Carter, his possible connection was shown from the time he was first introduced by his connection to Paz Valdez. In Origins, we will find out if the vendetta he had against Tariq was something from the past between James and Carter. What if Carter was actually Angela's first boyfriend and James stole Angela from Carter? And the last characters that I want to talk about in this video is the Tate brothers, Rashad and Kamal. I don't think Ghost knew them prior to meeting Rashad in Season 4, but Ghost said it himself that Tate and him were from the same neighborhood. It was also said that Tate's father was a drunk just like Ghost's father. So in Origins, we might actually be introduced to Tate's father. Possibly he goes to the bar that Ghost's father and his uncle Gabe owned to have a drink after work. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.